Hello and welcome to another episode on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. And as you can see alongside me, I'm joined by a very special guest, Fozi. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. Thanks for having me on, man.
No
I love the setup. I love the setup, man. Something it's nice. It's very. I'm all of the graphic stuff in it, so it's very good what I see.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. You've been I've only spoken to you for a little while, but you've been such a great support of the channel and myself. So I appreciate all the kind words that you have given me over social media. So I really, really appreciate it. And I've been wanting to get you on for quite a while. So it's my pleasure to have you on the show. So look, big game coming up. You know, I saw your Twitter bio and you said you hate Man United with passion. So I'm like, there's only one guest for this match preview. So that's why I had to get you on. We'll talk about United briefly, but let's focus on Liverpool. In terms of our season so far, what have you made of it? Have you been surprised by our progress? Or did you expect us to be challenging at this stage of the season?
Surprised, yeah, you could say surprised because of how far we are in the league and considering where we was last season, and the players that left and the players that come in. We're not playing the best football in the country so far, but we're top of the league, which is important in my opinion. If that screw job at the screw job at Spurs didn't happen, maybe we could have been way clear of everybody else, but it didn't work out as we wanted it. But listen, things can change under Klopp. Klopp is a strange manager, you know what I mean? When it's bad, it's bad. When it's good, it's good. And now it's good, and we're top of the league, obviously deservedly so as well. But we're way ahead of the schedule, yes, 100%. But it's good to be like this now when we're not playing good. Then, if we're playing good, this is our best, and that is it, if you know what I mean. But we know we can improve step by step. But we know Man City can get back up there as well. So we just got to keep an eye on them. I'm not really worried about us because Arsenal, I think they reached their limit at the moment. But with us, we're improving as the season goes along. And which will be frightening for the rest of the league, eventually, in my opinion. But yeah, it's good to challenge, man. That's what we're all about. We improved on last season's players, so let's keep it going, I say.
No, I definitely agree with that because I think with a lot of fans, including our own Liverpool fans, where a lot of fans were, despite us buying four good midfielders, in my opinion, people were still disappointed in terms of us not signing a centre-back or a traditional number 6. So if you put that into consideration, we're actually not doing that bad. We're not playing with traditional number 6.
No,
we're still controlling games, still getting the results. We're not playing our best football as well at times, which, with Klopp, we've kind of focused on playing on more heavy metal attacking football. This year, we're winning games ugly as well, which, that's a true sign of a championship team, in my opinion. So I think we're doing very well. A lot of sort of surprises in terms of the team. Who's impressed you the most, and who has actually surprised you in the Liverpool team so far?
Like a lot of people turn towards szoboszlai, don't they? They say szoboszlai is the most impressive signing, but I'm really impressed with McAllister. Really, like he's playing out of position, and although he's not doing what people, they want him as a number 8, but he's doing it as a number 6. But we want to be where we are if it wasn't him volunteering or whatever you call it, being in that position as a number 6 until we get the suitable replacement, if you know what I mean. I think he's been the signing for the season of the season for us because he's been brilliant in that position. And what I like about him is he controls games. He's not that typical traditional number 6 like Fabinho going to break up play and then start the attack from the back and all that stuff. With him, what I like about him, he wins the ball back and he passes the right passes from midfield, which turns into attack, and we score goals from there. So this is the impressive part for me with McAllister, and that's why I think he's the sign of the season for us so far. Szoboszlai is a bonus, of course. You know what I mean? We didn't expect it; he came out of nowhere, but. A lot of people have already, said something about him, like he's not doing well at the moment. But it always happens to players, man. Like you start off good, and the season catches up with you. The physical side, the mental side, and all that stuff. And then you take a step back. Oh, damn! I didn't expect it to be this quick. Like every game I play, maybe I have to, reevaluate the way I play and, change up a couple of things so I don't make myself tired every game I play. So that's what he's working on at the moment. But yeah, the signing to me, like, it's McAllister so far, bro. I love watching McAllister play in that position. And once we get the suitable replacement, in that DM role, he'll move up to number 8, and I think he'll create more chances for us as well.
Yeah, I actually agree with everything you said there, especially with McAllister. I find it quite strange amongst us Liverpool fans where we get this, well, not we as in us two, but in terms of other fans, they get disappointed to say, oh, why is McAllister the number 6? The thing is, you have to look at our squad right now. The way he's playing as a number 6, he doesn't need to be a traditional number 6, because I feel like when we have Fabinho, for example, that was the only role he could have played in the team. He couldn't play as an 8. So he was very limited in what we could offer, right? So if he's not playing, we would have to use someone that would have to be a makeshift. Whereas now, you've got McAllister where he doesn't need to be a complete destroyer. But for me, I like a number 6 who can be a deep playmaker as well. Start from the back and then protect the back 4, but also string forward passes. Our criticism of the players, the likes of Fabinho and Henderson, was that they kept on kicking the ball sideways or backwards. So you've got a forward-thinking number 6 in our team now. And I agree. I think getting him for 45 million is just...
it's a snip. It's a snip, bro. 100%.
It's daylight robbery. So in terms of Szoboszlai, I've been a big fan of his. I did a show in like March, February time where I said, this is the guy I want at Liverpool. We weren't really linked to him at that time. And thankfully, so I was quite happy that we signed him. He's like a player that I really looked out for in the Bundesliga. I feel like he's settled in very well. Some fans were quite surprised. Maybe they weren't familiar with his game. In terms of his criticism, I'm quite surprised to see why fans are saying just because he's dropped off a little bit doesn't mean he's not a good player. We've been playing so many games. It's only natural that, he's coming to a new league. Like you said, it's a different kind of atmosphere. It's different speed, different intensity in the league. So he will have ups and downs. But I feel like he's been a good signing for us. Endo was probably one where, I'll be honest, I wasn't too familiar with his game. I watched him a couple of times. Obviously, in the World Cup is when I actually, took notice of him. I watched him maybe 1 or 2 times in the Bundesliga. But I feel like he was more of a stopgap signing where maybe we couldn't get our top target as a number 6. And then we thought, let's get someone who's got experience. And we do have a young squad. So it is vital to have that kind of experience. And Gravenberch, for me, I've been a big fan of his for a couple of years now. So he was someone that I was really excited to see. Hasn't kind of, I think, lifted off the way he should have, but because he hasn't had much activity in the last 12 months, he's still finding his rhythm within the team. So personally, I was very pleased with the signings. So it wasn't really a sort of a thing where I'm like, disappointed that Liverpool didn't get a 6 or a centre back as such. But I'm happy with the team as well. Speaking of centre back, so I wanted to speak to you about the comments from our young prodigy, Kwanzaa, where he's not PR trained. It's quite obvious in terms of how he said. So he said, "My condolences."
Condolences, it's a weird one, wasn't it?
And then he was like, "Oh, I was always wanting to plan to go over him into the team, but it's probably the condolences part that for me is just wild." But I understand in terms of his mentality, right? That he wants to. So, but what do you think of the comments? Do you think it's something you don't say out loud, or do you respect the fact that he's done that in the public eye?
I put a comment on Twitter about it. I said, what's wrong with the young kid with the confidence? I mean, he did pay respects to Matip in the beginning anyway. So he didn't say like, oh, he's rubbish, I'll take his players or anything like that. He said condolences. He sent like, a respectful message to him. And he said, I was here to, play first team. What people don't know about Kwanzaa is Kwanzaa was meant to go out on loan, but he told the boss that he wants to stay and fight for his position. That's what he said. That's how confident this boy is. And every game he plays, he's better than most of the centre backs we got. I think he's been playing better than Konate this season. I don't see a lot of mistakes in Kwanzaa. I honestly don't. I don't know if you guys, if people, say I'm wrong, but I thought he's been, other than Matip and Van Dijk and obviously Gomez, he's been the most impressive centre back in the team. Because what I look for, in centre backs is the mistakes they make. And in the past we used to have Skirtle, always mistakes. Saka, always mistake. Love wrong,
Yeah.
always mistakes. You know, I could go on with names like, you know, the centre backs we had. But with this kid, like, he's got power, pace, aerial ability. Doesn't like to, you know, give up physically as well and all that stuff. So it shows that he is here, you know, to be part of the team, and he wants to be like in the first team on a regular basis. And for him being, if they call it cocky, I'd rather have that, you know, a guy who's confident in himself that he is like part of the first team and he is gonna fight for his position, than a guy who say, oh yeah, you know, like if I make it, I'll make it. If I don't, all this stuff. You know what I mean? So this is what you need from your players that want to play in the first team and compete for that position, and not only that, compete against the best of the best in that team as well. And I like that. I really, really like that, because Matip is no, you know, it's not a centre back that's, you know, a laughing stock. To me, in the last 8 years, he's been one of the best free signings we ever had. So, you know what I mean? He's not like talking about a person that's like just a flash in a pan or anything like that. He's talking about an experienced seasoned defender. And I like that. I really, really like that, bro. Like, maybe like you just said, he's not media trained, but I understand where he's coming from. If you watch football, you play football, and you know, you see it at the end of the years, you understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, because I saw the quotes before I actually saw the interview, so I'm thinking, what is he saying? But then when you watch it, you're like, okay, fine. I don't think he meant to say condolences.
No,
you kind of just got his point. Like, I think he meant.
He got stuck. Like, you know, like when someone gets stuck, what to say, like what to say next. That's what happened.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, that's what it felt like. So, but in terms of your comparison of him and Konate's form this season, I don't actually think that's a wild shout, because the only thing is, obviously Konate's played more games, but whenever I've seen Kwanzaa play, for someone that wasn't expected to be in the first team, he just oozes confidence on the pitch. Very composed on the ball. Doesn't seem like he panics when he has the ball, or when someone's running up against him. Doesn't rush, or, you know, he's not erratic in his play. So for me, yeah, he's been a breath of fresh air. I can't lie. I think a lot of fans were quite disappointed that we didn't have a centre back in the summer, but that might be the reason why. We already have someone that's ready made for now. Obviously, if Matip is to leave, which I think is expected. I think you'd agree as well. Matip is expected to leave, or do you think we'll sign him on a
the way Klopp was talking, like he might get a contract or something like that. I'd rather, listen, he doesn't get a lot of money. You know what I mean? He's not a burden to the squad. He's good around the back room. You know, like, you know, in the locker room and all that stuff. If Klopp wants him to stay, I don't really mind it. You know what I mean? He's not costing me anything. So why are people complaining? You know what I mean? Okay, we could get a new centre back, and he could be the person that's there that's gonna cover in case they get injured or something. So what? I don't understand our fan base. Like, we just want everyone out. I think, like, if you get everyone out, who we got left? You know what I mean? So just relax. You know what I mean? If the boss wants him to stay, let him stay. You know what I mean? So what? I really don't get it. I really do. I know the ligament injuries are bad. It's a season injury and all that stuff, but he could surprise us. He could come back early. You know what I mean? In the, you know, nitty gritty part of the season, where, you know, May or something like that, when we're almost probably like winning the league or something, and he puts the final pieces into that. Things like that can happen, man. Just use the players as the manager wants, man. I think people need to just relax with that, man. The guy served you well. So if he wants to stay, like, back him for that, man. You know what I mean? It's not like he came into the football club and played rubbish, and then, you know, we won him out like that. He's been playing well. He's probably the best defender this season. If you look at Van Dijk when he started the season, now Van Dijk obviously is elevated to the higher standards, but Matip has been consistent ever since he's been in the team this season. So relax. I'll say, anyway.
I know it is quite funny with Matip, because I think when we found out that it was a long-term injury, the response I got from fans is that, oh, I hope Klopp doesn't give him a contract. I don't want to be sentiment FC. But the thing is, I don't have a strong opinion about this. Like, if he's released, I kind of understand the situation. But if he's given a contract, I'm not going to lose my mind. Kind of similar to Milner's situation, where he got that extension, and a lot of fans lost their mind. Like, why are we giving a 36-year-old another year on the belt? But the thing is, you have to look at the bigger picture as well. It's not just what we see on the pitch. It's what's behind the scenes as well. So what he brings in terms of experience and in terms of how he is around the dressing room, that plays a good part in terms of how the atmosphere is in the club as well. So that's something we don't see, but it's something that I know when you just, even if you see a small clip in training from social media, you know everyone likes him. Van Dijk loves Matip. Whenever they're around, he loves him. So obviously he has that kind of effect on people around him. So I'm like you. Like, it's not coming out my wallet, so I don't really have a strong stance in terms of if he stays or not. Another player that I want to mention is Thiago Alcantara. So this one splits opinions online because you either love him or you just like, oh, he's always injured, just get rid of him. What's your viewpoint on Thiago?
The beginning of the season, I was all for it. I'm a big Thiago. I'm a technical guy, innit? I was a technical player, so I'm a technical person anyway. I used to watch Roberto Baggio when I was a kid, players like that, Del Piero's and all that stuff. I was all for it. I didn't think the injury would be this long, you know what I mean? Like near the end of the season, you know what I'm saying? But now, like, I'm running out of patience for him, you know what I'm saying? So it's up to the manager. Like I've always said, like, I don't know about you, brother. I'm 44, by the way. I'm going to be 45 next month. So I've been around the game since the 80s.
44 though.
Yeah, I've been watching Liverpool since the 80s. So I know what I see. I know what we've been through and all that stuff. And we've got a manager there that's only here for the good, like, well-being of Liverpool Football Club. I was there the other day. We was opening the stand at Anfield. He talked to us. He reassured us like we're here to win and just trust us. If a manager is saying that to you, and if he wants Thiago to stay to the end of the season, I'm all for it, bro. Like I'm a believer. I'm not a guy who challenges Jurgen Klopp and the sentimental and all this stuff. He made a mistake, yes, with those players to a certain extent, the previous players. But what people need to understand is if players like Henderson, Fabinho, and all that stuff, nearly just about two games, to win the quad, to win all the trophies, just that much. Wouldn't you trust them in another season if they gave you their all that season? That's what I always say. So he made them. People say he made a mistake in that, but I don't think he did. He just trust them for another season to see if they could do something in the next season, because they haven't let him down in the past. It's just that 2 games away of a final of winning trophies. That's the only thing that let him down. So I know people say about Jurgen Klopp is sentimental and all that stuff, but listen, I've always said it. Learn from past mistakes. Now he's got a new 2.0, as he says, new players, new team, and all that stuff. Learn from what the mistakes you've done with those other ones, and you move on better. Make sure the wages are in level like it used to be before. Nobody goes up there and everybody says, "Oh, he's gone above us," but we won the Premier League, we won the Champions League, we won everything with this player. Why are we this far away from him? You know what I mean? So if you could stop things like that and learn from past mistakes, listen, man, we could dominate football for years to come. And don't forget, the average age, what is it, 24 now, something like that? It's gone down immensely. So listen, we've got a good team here. We've got a good manager. I hope he signs a contract for long term. I don't care. I mean, because I know what we faced and I know what we're about to face when he leaves. So we just got to be careful, man. We just got to be careful what we wish for. We're moaning too much. I think we're moaning too much for a team that's playing badly and that's top of the league. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's absolutely wild. No, I find it very annoying in terms of the negativity. So even like, for example, the defeat in the Europa League a couple of days, yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. Like people just going wild. But put it into context, we qualified last week. We don't need to play a strong lineup. So
no.
It was expected that we were going to play kids yesterday. Let's be honest. Like I did a match preview. I said Chambers, and we all expected it, right? So if the result didn't come our way, it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect our campaign in the Europa League. In fact, it allows us to showcase some of the youngsters, let them get some valuable European experience, and then the squad players, because obviously we've got a couple of injuries in midfield as well. So it's good to see the likes of Endo and Gravenberch trying to get some match fitness as well. So I don't know. People might just love drama nowadays. I'm like you. I try and stay positive. We're top of the league. You think we're in Chelsea's position right now? Where
I can't believe it, bro.
We can't even get in the top half. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's just something that I don't really follow suit. I've just got a comment here from Glenn who says he's joined. Thank you for joining, Glenn.
Big up.
Why don't you get involved? Send your comments as well. If you want to ask Fozi a question, feel free to do so. So Fozi, you said that you like technical players. So January window is around the corner. Let me ask you rhetorical questions. If we could make one signing to help Liverpool win the league this season, who would it be and why?
Oh, you already told me this, and I should have prepared better. But I got because the player I wanted is already gone to Chelsea. You know what I mean, I was a big advocate for Caicedo. Mate. I saw him and McAllister dominate teams together in that midfield against Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. It doesn't matter. they were dominating that midfield together. They were battering teams. It's like the Basham brothers, you know, in Mighty Ducks. I don't know if you ever watched that back in the day.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like that, bro. Like I was thinking, like these two, if they're together, man, that's it. The league is done. It's over. Don't. Nobody can talk to us. You know what I mean? I was like expressions. You know, when he's in his stream saying, "Oh yeah, Liverpool fans better not talk to me," and then that's when they can see the goal, and that's what happened to us. Chelsea came in out of nowhere, and then you know they're taking over the play that we wanted. But listen. One door closes, there's another one that opens. Why don't we just go for someone like, you know, the Newcastle player, Grimeros? Apparently, Liverpool tried to get him at the end, didn't they? I think they tried to pay about 100 million for him. And, you know, he's at that age. He shouldn't be in a transition age. I mean, it takes you 5 years to win league titles. He should be at that age right now. I think it's 26, 25, something like that, like competing for titles on a regular basis. And he'll be great at Liverpool Football Club. Ramirez look, he's got Alisson there. He's got, you know, Brazilian-speaking players there, like, Portuguese-speaking players like Jota there. You know what I mean? So, and Spanish, I think it's mixture, isn't it? They do. So, all those players together in one team, I think we could be lethal. Like, and I like the way he dominates games. That's what I like about Ramirez. Like he actually, not only does he like hold that midfield, he's, like I said, technical. That's what Liverpool want, don't they? They want a technical DM that can, you know, progress the ball forward. He could score goals from midfield, take shots from outside, and, you know, make the team as a whole, all as one. Like he will connect everything together from that midfield. And we tried to get, obviously, Caicedo for 111 million. Why don't we go and try that with this guy and see what we could do? Because I'm sure he wants titles in his cabinet. Why not, man? I think he's better than Caicedo, that's for sure. You know what I mean? But I never thought he'll be available. We tried obviously in the summer. Let's try in January again and see what they're saying it, because I'm sure you know what's happening over there. Them being at the Champions League, maybe his mind has changed out right now. Or Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa, but they're doing their second in it. So I mean third. They're third now, so they're doing not bad at all. But Douglas Luiz looks good, man. I've always said he's good in a big team. That guy, the way he plays.
Yeah. Not bad shots, to be fair. I think Ramirez, he definitely fits that profile where he kind of play. He can play as a 6, can play as an 8 as well. Energetic. I was quite disappointed that we didn't sign him before Newcastle did, because I think it was quite well known that he was available for a transfer fee. Lyon were going through financial difficulties at the time as well, so that was definitely someone that I looked at thinking he would be a good signing. But I think Newcastle just beat everyone to it. So he'd be a good profile in terms of the transfer fee around it. Yeah, it would be a big fee to get him out of Tyneside.
You could even offer them players, bro. You could offer them players. You know what I mean? There's always another player in exchange and plus money. You know what I mean? You could do something like that, and it makes it easier to transfer across to Liverpool. Because Newcastle, Eddie Howe wouldn't mind any Premier League players, does he? He's not that type of manager that goes abroad and signs a bundles of players from abroad or anything like that. So I would love to see it. I would love to see us trying that Ramirez, man, because Ozzie, we need something like that, bro. I love. Listen, don't put me in a place like I hate Endo. I'm a good person towards Endo. I'm not like these guys who trash him and all that stuff. I do put him in a good place. I've always said that, you know, Japanese, Korean, Chinese players, they're very respectful people. It takes them a while to get in tune with the environment they're at. If they got people around them that's similar to them, I think they will play a bit better. But they're very shy people, timid people. You know what I mean? And that's, you can see by Endo the way he plays. Because if you see him at Stuttgart, it's a completely different player than what we see at Liverpool. So once he settles in, look at. Let me give you a prime example. Takumi Minamino. How long did it take him to settle in, people? At the end, everybody wanted him to stay, but we had to get money from him at the end. So it takes time with some players. With his experience, he was always going to be the Milner replacement. Let's just be honest there. He's at that age. We bought Milner at that age. You know, he will look after the young players and, you know, advise them well. But we still need that DM that's going to be like 23, 24, 25, 26. Someone there that's going to be there for the next 5 years, you know, dominating in that position. So I'm not obviously putting Endo aside because he could play multiple positions, you know, right back, centre back as well as the DM. So that's an advantage he's got in his benefit in regards to if someone comes in.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of Endo, I agree with him. I think even though we're thinking in terms of long term, he can still play a big part in our role. It's not that we're going to sell him next summer just for the sake of it. He can still, you know, occupy different roles or play backup or provide cover for certain players in the team as well. In terms of Minamino, you make a good shot because with Minamino, he joined probably at the worst time where he joined in January and then COVID happened like a couple of months later. So with that going around, you can't really settle into a new team. You can't physically even be around your players as well. So he had to wait about 6 months before he could actually actively train with his teammates every day. So that it was always going to be a difficult period for him to settle in. In terms of who I would target as well, someone I quite like, and I know a lot of fans will be like, oh, he's too old, but I like him as a player, is Palhinha from Fulham. So I feel like he I think if you look at his profile, people might say he's just a destroyer, but the way he runs around in terms of his engine as well, I think he's energetic, but he gets goals as well for Fulham. He's got goals for them this season. He's got them through, I think, long shots. So he's got a good shot on him as well. He can do it on set pieces. Obviously, his move to Bayern Munich failed in the summer. So I feel like that's someone up for grabs. I think we've been linked to him recently as well. So look, it'll be interesting. So it's quite obvious to see that I think a midfielder is the main target. I wouldn't, because you haven't mentioned a centre back. I personally don't think we'll sign a centre back.
Kwanzaa enough, mate. Kwanzaa is enough. What I said, sorry to interrupt, bro, but what I said about the centre backs is like people need to be careful how they go on about the centre backs. I make a stream about those stuff when I talk about it as well. Yeah. The next step for Liverpool Football Club, in regards to dominating and you know, making it consistent is replacing Van Dijk's, Matip's, and you know, players like that. That's the next step. We don't want to do buys that's going to be you know here and there kind of buys. That's why I keep telling people. Matip is 32. Van Dijk is around the same age. So we need, while they're still here under their tutelage, youngsters that's going to replace them eventually. I've already told a lot of people about Konate. Konate, great defender in his own right, you know what I mean? But he's, you know, always going to make mistakes. We need someone calm at the back, someone who's, you know, going to be a leader at the back that doesn't make mistakes. Like Van Dijk, what's he good at? What's his strong, you know, attributes? Not making mistakes. Players not getting past him. You know what I mean? So even at 30, 31, 32, he's still doing the same job as he was doing before. But if we don't have that in that defense, we're gonna go back to the days of, you know, Saka, you know, Skirtles and all this stuff. So you gotta be careful how you go on there. The next step, in my opinion, we've got right for now, we're good. We're good in that centre back position. The next step is go and scout for the replacement of the important centre backs that we got. And then we could move on from there. I mean, I will understand if it's the last stage of their career, like they're 34 and it's over, then we panic buy and all that stuff. But we're in a good position. Just the next step is to get the right replacements for those defenders.
That's a good point, because I mentioned this. I was doing I do FC24 content where I play career mode. And I just made a content whilst I was playing that. The emphasis on the profile of centre backs that we were looking at in the summer, I think all of us, or most of us, wanted a left-sided centre-back that was left-footed. I've actually changed that viewpoint now. I actually don't want a left-footed centre-back. And my reasoning for that is because Van Dijk, like you said, he might be 32, but he's a Rolls Royce. I think he'll play for years to come. So 100%. He's not going to slow down anytime soon. And he plays on the left side of a centre-back pairing. That is his predominant role. I know he's right-footed, but that's his comfort zone. Even the way he pings the ball to the right winger like Salah, he's accustomed to that role. He's built that role over the years. So I feel like we need to find a partner. So whether that is someone that overtakes Konate in the long term or plays second fiddle to Konate, that's the profile of a centre-back that I think we're going to go for in the future. So the left side, I think, I don't think that's going to work. In my opinion, everyone might have a different view.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, look, I was thinking about what you're saying, and afterwards I realized, forget about that, man. Let's just like concentrate on what I just said. Like, the future. You know what I mean? At least the most important thing, Ozzie, is we'll be ahead of everybody else in that terms. You know what I mean? If you look at Man City, they can buy whatever they want. That's how they are. What they do is it's like, you know, you buy, it doesn't work, throw it away. You buy, it doesn't work. But if we plan our one, we keep an eye on these players that we're getting for the future, like constantly, and or even buy them early and just leave them with that club or something like that. Let them, you know, learn their trade, and then bring them in slowly when these players are slowly drifting away, so they could learn from them. Then that's a good thing. That means, because we haven't got that kind of owners. You know, Ozzie, you know, I'm an FSG guy. I've always been. I'm never gonna change until they completely change my mind. I'm good for this season, what they've done for us. But, you know, we're not going to be that team that's going to spend 70, 80 million on defenders again. We're not. We're simply not. And until they, you know, leave, it's going to be, you know, cheap buys here and there. But in this way, it gives them advantage of, over other teams, if you know what I mean. So nobody expected Saliba to be as good as he is this season. That's a buy out of nowhere for Arsenal. So why don't we do a similar thing? Go look around the world. Go and look for someone who's going to be, beneficial for our team in the future as well. Pacey, calm on the ball, good in the air, and then when they come in, they'll slot right in that Saliba did at Arsenal.
Definitely. I think you make a good point. I think the good thing about Liverpool, I know FSG in terms of ownership, we could talk about another episode because I feel like we've talked about it for a long time. But yeah, I've always been on the fence with FSG. I like the way they do business, but I don't think they invest as much as they should. That's just my opinion in terms of their ownership.
Yeah,
but
100%.
In terms of our business strategy, I feel like we get our recruitment done very well. So even the likes of our last couple of signings, so Diaz was basically going to be Mane's long-term replacement, and then we brought him in January. So that was like, he gets to settle in, he gets to learn off Mane a little bit as well, and tells him to, and he's
that was a good buy like that. The way they did that was excellent.
It was excellent. And then we did it last year with Gakpo as well. So he was, I think, labeled as Firmino's long-term replacement as well. But because he's so versatile, he can easily play left wing as well. So that could be what happens in January. But I think it depends on who the club have profiled as the main target. Because if it's a player that we're linked with, and let's say United or some other team is trying to sign that player as well, we might, shelve our plans for now and try and get that player quickly. But look, remains to be seen in terms of what we do in the transfer window. I'm not too hopeful that we'll sign players, but Liverpool do surprise. They have surprised us in the last 2 January windows. So we'll take it from there. So let's move on to the game now. So, Fozi, let's talk about opponents. So how does it feel to see Manchester United in the mud right now?
Oh, bro. Listen, man, you guys are lucky, you know what I mean? Because in your school time, you didn't suffer as much as me in the 90s. I suffered, bro. I suffered, man. I had to sit through Man United dominating, wishing players get injured, you know what I mean? Don't make me like into an enemy or anything like that. But that's how it used to be. Is Ferdinand playing today? I hope not. Is Roy Keane playing? No. Andy Cole, like that. I was always like that, wishing players, certain players don't play. I hope West Brom plays, you know what I mean? So it will open up the defense and things like that. But listen, every football team has their turn in it, and their one is gone. It's other teams' turn now, and that's what's happened today. They made if you look at Man United, it's similar to Liverpool in the 90s. Like, we was the richest team in the league. We was buying players here and there, like non-stop spending silly money and all that stuff. But the thing is, bro, we didn't have the right man in charge. We had Roy Evans in charge, and Roy Evans is a nice guy coming through the boot room, obviously reserves and things like that, and coming to the first team is 2 different things. I mean, that's why Ronnie Moran never took over as manager, because he knew he was never going to be that, person that's going to be right up front, and be the leading man. And that was the unfortunate bit for us. We had a system of like getting managers through who are tough and don't take any BS from anyone. And the last one was Kenny, and after that, Graham Souness came in, tried to change a lot of things quickly, way ahead of his time. But he messed it up a bit because he sold a lot of the senior players. He should have just kept them around and see where we'll go from there after that, as soon as he implements his stuff in and all that stuff. So I could see Man United doing the same thing. In my opinion, Man United, they haven't got no identity, bro. They're struggling pretty badly. They're buying the wrong players. They're buying players that's after money. Like what John Barnes said once in a podcast, he said, I want from a team that was competing season in, season out for trophies, hungry for trophies, and want to win every trophy possible, to a team that was just happy they played for Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? Just to put their profile up. That's it. There's nothing in regards to winning trophies. And that's what Man United are facing, bro. They're buying Casemiro at the end of his career. They're buying Eriksen at the end of his career. They're buying all these. Antony, who the hell is Antony? You know what I mean? Like, what have you actually done in football for you to be even worth 85 million, bro? Like, what have you actually done? You know what I mean? And you look at these players, Maguire, he was always Leicester level. You knew that, Ozzie. He was never going to be higher level. I knew that. Like, you know what I mean? Come on. Even Stevie Wonder can notice that. But, it's crazy, man. Like, and like instant success is the thing that brings teams down, especially, top teams that had it in the past. They had Mourinho, they had Van Gaal, they had Moyes, they had Giggs for short term. They keep changing managers. They don't even know if they're coming or going. And good for us. But the one that frightened me just a bit was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before Ronaldo came on the scene. I don't know if you agree with me, Ozzie. He was building something there that, the most dangerous thing in football is a happy camp when everybody's together, when everybody's fighting as one. That's how he was building, and they finished second, as I remember that season.
Yeah,
well,
that was
before Ronaldo came in.
Yeah, you're right.
And then as soon as Ronaldo came in, everything went pear-shaped. You saw that interviews. You saw everything.
Yeah.
I said that to them. I said, that's the end of you guys. I said, remember when I told you guys, you got a happy camp? I'm scared of you guys. I ain't scared no more. You got Ronaldo back in, and they said to me, I'm jealous. I said, there's one thing Ronaldo that was there before, the humble kid that wanted to become the best player in the world. And there's another thing when there's a Ronaldo that's already made it in football. That's, big time Charlie now. There's two different players, and they got obviously the one that's a big time Charlie. And ever since then, they just went downhill. Like even now, they want this guy out. Like, why do you get him in the first place? Don't you investigate managers, their backgrounds and all that stuff? But as I said, Ozzie, the issue these teams have is if you look at all the top teams that won the league, all the top teams around the world, what is the most important thing in their club? The manager. I mean, once we started getting, I gave up. I gave up before Klopp. I said, Brendan Rodgers. I gave up, man. I said, you know what? What's coming next? I don't think we're going to ever win the league. All I have to become is someone that's going to follow the club, because the success is 30 years and counting. And this guy came out the door and said, like, I'm going to turn you guys into believers. If I don't win a title in the next 4 years, I'll manage in Switzerland somewhere. And then what did he win in the 4 years? Champions League, then Premier League after that, and and every trophy possible. And he's still and he's rebuilding his second team for the first time in his career. You know what I mean? And this is what we got. But Man United, man, they're finished, bro. They're begging for Qataris. That's not coming now. What's next, bro? What is next? That's the question. You know what I mean? And you can see even their podcasts, their streams, the Man United fans is the highest now out of everybody else. Arsenal's gone now, and all the teams have gone. You know what I mean? So it shows like they're really struggling, bro. They're begging us not to batter them on Sunday. They're begging me. Man United begging me. That's the best thing I've ever had.
That's not happening. We're not gonna show any mercy on them. But I think you've hit the nail on a lot of points there. In terms of the problems come from upstairs. So I don't think they have a director of football. So there's no business strategy. There's no strategy in terms of what type of profiles of players do we get. They literally just sign big names. So big names that are not playing, or like you said, on the verge of ending their career. These aren't the players that you build your team around. So that point you mentioned when they finished second, even I thought as well, okay, if they recruit well in the summer, they'll turn up and then they can start competing. I'm not saying they were going to win anything, but they were in a great position to compete because they had a lot of young players. Rashford started showing form. And then that was the key where, all right, the players are actually stepping up now. But then when you bring a player of high profile who's, let's be honest, as amazing as he is on the pitch, he's not really renowned for being a team player in terms of like the dressing room atmosphere and stuff like that. Like you can learn off someone's superior skills, but he's not really there to nurture anyone. So recruitment has been diabolical. I can't even swear in the stream. I don't want to swear, but it's been very bad. They've been signing a lot of bad players. You mentioned Antony. I heard of Antony, but 85, 90 million, outrageous. Like he didn't do anything to cement. We bought Nunez, but we bought him for around 65. But you saw what he did in Champions League against us. You saw what he was doing. So we all knew he wasn't the finished article, and he still isn't, to be fair. But the potential, he's got raw skills where we feel like if we nurture him, he'll do really well. So, I think, and just the managers that you've listed, these are top level managers like, in their renowned careers. They've all won trophies everywhere around the world. So if they're not doing well at Manchester United, they're not the problems. It's a lot deeper than what it is. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it. So Ten Hag forever, in my opinion, because I feel like whenever United play us, they're not sacking their manager straight after as well. So it could be the nail of the coffin, but
they're in trouble, bro. They're in trouble, mate. Like when you put yourself in this much damage, it's hard to get out of it. Basically, what they have to do is rip off everything, from top to bottom, and start from zero. Are they willing to do that? That's the question next. And they ain't, because they're going to buy players for 85 million and 100 million and all that stuff. We know that. That's what they're going to do again. You got
even
like,
if they had, even if they had Qatari owners, the philosophy is still wrong.
Yeah,
they can go out and buy 10, 80 million players, but are they right for the team? They have to fit the profile. They have to fit the philosophy of the manager. Like Ten Hag's been there, is it a year and a half now?
He came last season. Yeah, he came last season. Year and a half,
if you're sacking him, then you're back to square one. Then you're gonna get. I think who's linked to them now? Graham Potter. So
Graham Potter.
If he comes in, you've got to give him at least a couple of years. I wouldn't say a couple of years. Like when you recruit a manager, we've seen it for Liverpool. You mentioned Roy Evans. Roy Evans was there for about good 5 years, I think. Then Julia came. Julia was about the same range, 5, 6
same
years.
Around,
same around. So all of the managers Liverpool have had over the years, they've all had a sufficient time to make a change of club. Benitez, 5 years as well. Brendan Rodgers, I think it was 3 years, but after that Stoke defeat, I wanted him out the window. He stayed on for too long, in my opinion.
You know, Brendan Rodgers, he starts off like giving you hope, then he just goes down from there.
So they're, like you said, they're in big problems right now. They're all dancing for that Qatari money. That's not the answer. You got to have a director of football who has a vision for the club, and then you've got a manager that has to be aligned with that as well. That's why, in general, our position at the club, where Klopp, very strong-minded, knows what he wants, knows exactly the type of player he wants. He doesn't just want a player that looks good on the pitch. He does his research. He does his in terms of the profile. What is he like as a human being? How is he like around players? What was his upbringing like? He does a lot of these research to see, is this guy hungry? Is he hungry for success? Because if they're just there for the paycheck, and Sancho, a player that I really rated.
I said, there was a stream, probably deleted now. I said that when they bought him, he ain't gonna do nothing. I said that straight away. I said the profile you need is not big parties. The profile you need is players that's gonna walk through the wall for you. He's not that type of player. There's a reason Man City got rid of him, and Foden stayed. Foden is willing to graft. Sancho is not willing to graft. That's the difference. He's good in Germany, but he's never going to be good here. And look at that. I said the same thing about Lukaku as well to them before they bought him. And now look, the same thing that's happening. I said to them in the beginning. And players play a big part. From what I've seen of Man United, the players are running the asylum, bro. The players are running the asylum. The players are doing whatever they want. When a guy who's Manchester born does food banks, humble off the screen, gets the MBE, and then you see him on the pitch walking around sulking, then there's a problem, bro. There's a problem. You expect the people that's born and bred, supporting the team to walk through a wall and get everyone behind them. You know what I mean? Like in the bag and get everyone going. He doesn't even do that. This is a weak mentality club. It's not even a strong mentality club. I've always said that as well. Fergie, I think, overstayed his welcome when he decided to retire in the early noughties. That's when he should have left. That's when he should have left. But he decided to stay, and then the players aged. Everything around the club was rotting at the same time. And then it just that's what's happened now. Was it 12, 10 years now? 10 years. So it shows a lot of work needs to be done in this club, and we've been there. Thank God we come out of it. Thank God we got the right manager. Thank God, we've got the potential to make him stay for years as well, man. Because I've always said it. Make sure Klopp stays, people. Because after that, you're in trouble, man.
Do you know what's funny? I'm exactly that sort of viewpoint where I don't want Klopp to go. And it's not me being sentimental. We're sentimental FC, aren't we? But we can't. So I remember when we had Benitez, and then everyone wanted Benitez out. But I had friends that were like, "Look, if he goes, your club is going to go backwards as well." And then that's kind of what happened as well, where we had the likes of Mascherano, Alonso, elite players. After that, we were signing Poulsen and Franceschi and Jovanovic. Like, those were hard times being a Liverpool fan. So that Hodgson era definitely added some
made you think, innit? Made you think, like, be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? Listen, if there wasn't I've always said to Liverpool fans, Ozzie, like we need to be careful where we stand here. Like, we argue a lot. We're becoming like these fans that we don't want to be on social media. I don't know if you look at Twitter. Like, I'm one of those guys. I was there. I was in Twitter a lot, and then I just realized, like, I'm repeating the same nonsense every single day. The nice people, don't get me wrong, lovely people, I love them all. The issue that they have in, like, they're tasting a little success, and when it's not there, they start getting frustrated and they want the manager out, they want the players out. But what you got to look at is we're supposed to, after that league win, progress. What happened? A pandemic happened. When the pandemic happened, what happened? Financially, everybody was messed up, apart from the certain teams that have financial power. So we had to start again in order for us to come back again. I mean, if that pandemic wasn't there, who knows where we would have been? We probably would have been dominating for years to come. Don't forget that season, that was the original pandemic season. We was top of the league until January, until Matip got injured at Tottenham, and then we got Kabak and Davis in our defense, and we was never going to win the league after that. You know what I'm saying? So there's obstacles along the way for us not to succeed, to become dominant. And if life tragedy happens like that, it's hard to come out of it. But we're trying now, and we have to see now the 2.0 where we're going to go from there. Are we going to like keep going, and have 2 or 3 league titles along the way and be happy at the same time? Because we got stopped. You know what I mean? Liverpool Football Club has got a history of being stopped somewhere all the time because of something happening. But I want to see, without anything happening, how far we can go in the future, bro. Because Klopp never had that. He's never had that. You know what I mean? He lost his mum. Don't forget, during the pandemic. Yeah. He wasn't the same guy anymore. No. Like you can see in his face, he wasn't enjoying it anymore. Now you see a different Klopp that's jumping up and down the line, sitting down on the line, on the side on his own, thinking what's next. That's the energetic, the energy I'll be missing, and I'm loving seeing Klopp like that. And listen, just wait and see, people. Like, you know what I mean? It could be worse. We could be Man United.
Look, he looks rejuvenated, and it's quite nice to see as well. Because I think after that it was so much uncertainty in terms of what's going on in terms of football. So it was always a difficult part of, I would say, from a fan's perspective and for players and managers. So no, he looks rejuvenated. Calling it Klopp 2.0 as well. So he means business. Just got a few comments here. So we've got Toto Hammer says big up Fozi. Big up yourself, Toto. Thank you for tuning in. Double D, big up Double D. Regardless of how bad they are currently, we cannot afford to be complacent. That is a good viewpoint in terms of we shouldn't be complacent. We'll touch on the tactics and the lineup shortly as well. And we've got a comment here from Billy Deegan. Thank you for your comment, Billy. I'm hoping we win another 7 at the weekend. Liverpool, we're hoping that's for sure. Another comment here from Double D. Ozzie going on like he never had a shirt with Charlie Adam on the back. Never in a million years. Do you remember the hype about Charlie Adam? I was thinking, like, I see he's got techers, but he's not. I don't know. I didn't see it at the time, and
man, we was missing Alonso for too long, man. I mean, we was missing those passes from midfield, didn't it? We take anything at the moment.
We were desperate at that time. We were very, very desperate. So
that's what desperation does, people. Unfortunately,
trust me, we've been there. So what we'll do now, I'll present the team news for both teams, and then me and Fozi will go and predict the lineups for both teams and highlight who we see as a danger man or how we're going to set up tactically as well. So in terms of team news, let's start with Liverpool. So long-term injuries haven't changed. So we've got the likes of Matip, Bajtic, Robertson, Thiago. From what I've seen online, he started training again in terms of he was walking into the Access Centre. So hopefully he's coming back. But who knows at this stage. So these guys are still long-term casualties right now. McAllister, from what I know, is unlikely to play due to the knee injury. So he might be sitting out this one. In terms of Manchester United, so Maguire is out. He was injured. I think he was against Bayern Munich. I think Luke Shaw as well. Luke Shaw is 50-50, but from what I've heard, I don't think he'll be starting. Bruno Fernandes shamelessly got himself booked to avoid any
Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Like, we didn't notice that you're doing that by purpose. Like, when he was doing this in the last 7-Up game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He was like, get me out of it. Shameless. That's their captain,
That's shameful, man.
Big captain there. So he's watching it probably on the couch like we are, or he'll probably be at the stands in some shape or form. United will be without Ballon d'Or Martial, which always a terrible signing for United in my opinion. Still can't believe he's there, to be fair. They've got Mason Mount, so he's injured with, I think he's got a knee injury. Sancho's pretty much suspended, so he's
out, man. He's out.
He's just living life right now. So
I think him and the manager don't get on in it. So once that happens, it's very difficult to get those players back on board.
Yeah, he's hard-headed. He didn't want to apologize. And to be fair, it depends on your manager as well. Like, I don't know. I just get that vibe from Ten Hag that he just seems a bit stuck up as well. Like he won't even like be on a compassionate level. So we don't know the truth.
Why are you fighting with your players publicly? Like,
I know that's
wild.
wild.
Have you ever seen a top manager come out in public saying things what these guys say? I've never seen it. Klopp, even if he doesn't like you, he will back you in the press, but then with you afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we had that situation with Sacco. Do you remember? So obviously they had a bit of an issue, but he never really said it out loud. I think he was still speaking quite positive about him. Say, look, he's still our player. We're in pre-season right now, so got a long way to go. And then he got sold like a couple of weeks later. So that's man management. That's how you're supposed to deal with that sort of stuff. Not to say, yeah, my guy's rubbish. He doesn't know how to train. Like that's just wild, in my opinion.
Football, like if you look at the best managers in the world, it's all about psychological, isn't it? It's all about they're the best. They're unpaid psychologists, aren't they? That's what they are. They're not. That's not their profession, but they will make players think they're better than what they are when they get on that pitch, and then they raise their game to levels. What you see from Henderson's and Fabinho's and Wijnaldum's when they were at Liverpool Football Club. Before they came to Liverpool Football Club, nobody thought they would be Champions League winners. Nobody thought they were Premier League winners. But that's because they've got a manager that can make them think that way. That's what you need. Ferguson, same. Mourinho in his prime, same. Shankly, if you look back when Shankly speaks, he will make you walk through anything. Paisley, same thing. Dalglish. You know what I mean? Not only is he the greatest Liverpool player, but if you that's my favorite manager, by the way. If you listen to Dalglish, he will put you in a pedestal like no other, and then you think to yourself, you know what? I can't let this guy down. Let me go and do the damage for him on the pitch, and that's what you need. But managers that come on the press and start criticizing players and think they're going to perform after that. Are you out of your mind? That's never going to happen. You already brought the player down. He ain't going to come back and do that extra bit for you anymore. You know what I mean? He's going to come on. He'll probably come on and try to get you sacked. You know what I mean? That's the next step.
But then that's the thinking. Why would you say it out loud? Because the player's it's very rarely a case where a player gets humiliated in public and they're like, you know what, I'm going to show him. It will happen in batches, but it won't ever happen where the guy will simply outturn and become that player that the manager wants. It never works like that. So you mentioned all the Liverpool greats, even the great managers outside of Liverpool. If you interview the players that used to play under those managers, they would always say, they made me feel like I was 9 feet tall and I would run a brick wall through them. You always hear that comment. So, and the proof of that as well is when they leave that team and they move on, how are they playing afterwards? Are they playing at the same level? They're not, because they don't have that elite manager. They don't have that someone has that kind of like psychological effect that you just said, because that is, I would say that is the key ingredient of being a top manager. That will bring you success because you want them to play for you. A lot of fans are saying no one's playing for Ten Hag. It's quite evident they're not playing for Ten Hag.
100%.
So this is the difference about having someone that understands that you don't have to be transparent, because I think when he made comments about Ronaldo, the likes of Gary Neville, who talks a lot of rubbish, by the way, talks a lot of rubbish. Don't have time for him. But he was just saying, I respect the transparency from this manager. But the thing is, you can't be transparent as a manager. You got to play the game. When you're at work and you got issue with your manager, you're not going to air out the manager in front of people, are you? You're going to have to play the game, right? You'll be like, keep it in and then do what you got to do to make a good impression around you. So it's everyday stuff. It's logical stuff, but
I think the best option for Ten Hag is just to leave. I got to be real. I don't think that relationship is ever going to come back. I got to be real. Like I'm not here to bash Man United. He's put himself in so much, shit, as they say. It's hard to get out of it. You know what I mean? Like once you put yourself in that situation, it's going to be difficult to come out of it, because apparently there's cliques in the camp now. I think Gary Neville, your friend Gary Neville, said that there's cliques in the camp, and when there's cliques in the camp, that means like you're in trouble. Your job is in trouble, because those players that you're putting on the pitch might not even do anything for you. Hence why you're probably receiving these results that you're receiving at the moment and all that stuff. So listen, he should have developed in a better way. Man United was too big of a step from Ajax to go to. Obviously Ajax is a massive club, people, don't get me wrong, but it's too big of a step. You need to take small steps before you get to these clubs, because there's a lot of baggage around those clubs, and once you get down there, when there's no patience from the fans, there's no patience from the ownership, there's no patience from the media and all that stuff around the club, it's going to be difficult for you, you know, to get that club back to where it was before. Why did Liverpool come back up? Because as Paul said recently, he said, if you can tell the difference between Man United and Liverpool, Liverpool fans don't boo their stuff. They don't boo their players. They back them until they, you know, leave the club. That's how they are. That's how they appreciate what's around them. Win, lose or draw, you never hear them boo anyone. That's the difference between us and Man United. That's why we could work out things compared to them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it is. Like I said, he needs to leave that club in order for him to get back where he wants to be. Because a lot of managers, better managers than him, have failed in that club, and he's still counting now, bro.
But that is spot on, because I feel like with certain managers, you know what kind of caliber they are and what they bring to the team as well. So if you've lost that dressing room, it's very, very hard to regain the faith of the fans, the club. So yeah, it's a big, big daunting task, to say the least. So what we'll do now, we'll predict the lineups for both teams. We'll start off with United, because obviously we're the home team, so we'll have more knowledge in terms of what we need to do, but we'll share the screen. So in terms of the selection, so I mentioned, I think Casemiro's not available, Malacia not involved, Lindelof is 50-50, so if we want to add in the line,
what's his name, Delau or something is out as well. I swear they said something like that. He came out the other day. I think the right back.
Okay. The right back. Dalot?
Dalot, sorry, Dalot. Yeah. Sorry. And what's his name? Wan-Bissaka's injured, isn't he, as well?
Wan-Bissaka. From what I know, he's still available. He was on the bench against Bayern Munich, so unless something's developed, I'm not too sure. So Dalot, it'll be Mayno. I think I say his name. I'm saying the rapper's name, but Hannibal Medri is expected to start the game in midfield, possibly. Wow. So they've got a lot of injuries going on, so we'll try our best to try and put them on. So let's see what we can do. So just gonna share the graphics with you guys. So here we go. So in terms of the formation, I expect to start a 4-2-3-1. How do you see them setting up? Do you think they'll part the bus and play 5 at the back, or will it be
they'll do anything? They're desperate. They're desperate at the moment. Their fans, if your fan base is desperate, that means the whole club as a they just said, like, to me, keep the score down, innit? That's what they said to me, innit? So I'm assuming. I think they'll play 4 at the back. I think Varane is going to play with. Is Lindelof fit or? So
Lindelof, from what I know, he's sort of facing a late fitness test, but he's in contention. So let's just do it for argument's sake. Let's say he's available. So
so it's going to be him and Varane at the back.
Him and Varane. So Onana, we're going to have a lot of fun with him. I think.
Listen, man, listen, as an IC3 person, you know, we're not very good goalkeepers, mate. Just putting it out there. we're not very good at goalkeeping. We're good in the pitch, not on goalkeeping, man.
So we got Lindelof and you said Varane. And I agree. I think that will be the pairing between the two. Just got a couple of comments here. So Uncle Rod says, yo, my guys, big up yourself, Uncle Rod.
Big up, Uncle Rod.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to Uncle Rod's channel.
Top man.
Lovely man indeed. And then he says Dalot. So Dalot will definitely be starting. Right back. Do you think he'll start right back?
Yeah. I don't. You know what? I don't know. They haven't got a left back in it. They said something about Shaw not being fit, so Dalot might have to play left back and Wan-Bissaka right back.
They have that guy on loan, Reguilon. So he could play, I think.
Very poor, man. He's very, very poor, that guy. I don't know if they're going to trust him enough, you know what I mean? Because defensively, he's suspect, isn't it? He's not very good at defensive side of the game. So they want to go all ultra defensive, don't they? So are you going to put Reguilon there, or are you going to put Dalot there? So let's do and Wan-Bissaka as a right back. So make it as tight as possible, if you know what I mean. So Liverpool can't get past you.
Wan-Bissaka, So from what I know, Wan-Bissaka is available. So we'll place him there. In terms of the lineup, double pivot. So I think he'll be McTominay, who's surprisingly
Amrabat. What do you think of McTominay, Ozzie? Like the way they shine about. If he was a Liverpool player doing what he's doing, would you be like making complaints like they do about him?
I think he's on the same wavelength as when we had Henderson, where he's not easy on the eye, but he does a shift for the team. So I think it depends on your fan base. So you touched on a very good point a couple of minutes ago about how we are as a fan base, because with us, we never really boo our players. I've very rarely heard a former player say, "Oh, the fans."
I think the last time I heard something was Roy Hodgson era, which is understandable. Any team would be understanding that one, but usually, yeah, we don't really do that.
We don't really do that. So, and in terms of our managers as well, we hold them in very high regard. So we never really, you know, taunting them in terms of getting them out and stuff. But I think he's a decent player. I wouldn't say he's elite or anything, but by
for their standards, I think for their standards, he's good enough for them at the moment with the players they've got. That's what I think.
And the funny thing about United fans, like, you know, I'm not stereotyping them at all, but from what I've seen online, a lot of them people don't even rate McTominay, where they kind of want him out. They don't want him involved, but he's been their best player. This is what we were talking about earlier on. You need players that fit the profile of your team. You need players to be industrious in that double pivot. It can't just be fancy guys with footwork and stuff. Like, you had Pogba and you played him in the wrong position. Yeah. And then obviously you just thought he never lived up to the bill. But playing correctly, then, you know, it would have been a different case. But I think he's a decent player. And I think he's kind of surpassed expectations in terms of being a goal scorer, because I didn't really think he had that in his locker. But he's coming up with a lot of like goal scoring moments. He's like a Fellaini regen. You know, Fellaini used to do that for them as well, where he just
ex-Everton guy. Yeah, I remember him with the bushy hair.
So, he's kind of like that kind of mode, in my opinion. So I think he's all right. I don't think he's that bad. But this is the thing with United owners, and I think the fans as well. They want big names. They want big names in their team. This is the problem. So when you're going for that big names, you're not going to get that performance, because with big names it comes big egos as well at the same time. So you gotta mix it about and then have a good balance in your team as well.
Well, they got a big name, Fernandez. I mean, look at the way he performs. He's more on the floor than actually playing the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Always chasing the referees, like, and shouting at the ear and all this stuff, being a nuisance. I mean, like, what have you done actually in the game for you to even shout at referees and all that stuff? Like, don't you supposed to earn the right? You know, Rooney, at least he earned the right to do things like that. Yeah, you've earned nothing. You've done nothing in football, so earn the right to shout at referees and chase them about first of all before you actually do that. Listen, we had the option to buy. I don't know if you guys know that we had the option to buy him when we had our tour in the USA. Sporting, we played Sporting in the New York Stadium. The New York Yankees. And Liverpool said straight away, no, he's not our type of player. I mean, even how can we recognize that from that time, and this club doesn't recognize that? I mean, that's what I'm trying. That's the levels in the club. That's the levels in the club.
Yeah,
we'd rather settle for Hendersons and players like that than getting a technical player like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Think about it. Think about it. Hard work or technical with a lot of baggage. Which one is going to win?
No, that's spot on. That's why we sign certain profiles. It's not exactly everything on the pitch. It's what they bring all together as well. Like, we don't want someone with baggage. We don't want someone that, you know, whines and cries when they lose the ball, or, you know, something doesn't go. That is not the mentality. That's not a winner's mentality, in my opinion. So,
and he's the captain, brother. He's the captain of the team.
He's the captain. You can't even make that stuff up.
You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up, man. You just couldn't make it up. Amrabat, I think, is the next one you're looking for.
Amrabat, yeah.
Liverpool were after him. Liverpool were after him. People, like, if you don't know, Liverpool were after him, but they found an injury. He had an injury that put them off. It's the kind of injuries you can't get rid of, or something on his knee. Something, I think it was similar to Fekir.
Fekir, that's the name that came to mind as well.
Yeah, something similar to that. So Liverpool said, nah, we're not taking that risk. But we did want to sign him at one time.
Yeah, I think that's why he's on loan, isn't he? He's not. They didn't pay for him.
They want to check him out before. I don't think he's going to stay. There's no chance he's going to stay now. No chance.
I think he'd want to walk out himself. He wouldn't even let the club man.
The Premier League's too fast for him, bro. Like, you saw him in the World Cup. He looked like the big physical player that could dominate midfield. You look at him in the Premier League, he's a midget. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like that big player anymore. You know what I mean? It's like you could walk all over him. He's struggling to run back, and it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So true. But then again, we had El Hadj Diouf in a World Cup, and we thought that he's going to be fantastic at Liverpool. And look at that turned out. You know what I mean? Never watch players in a World Cup. Then they're not the same players. They're not the same players. That brings
some bad memories.
Different football.
Oh, that's a blast in the past. That because I remember him in the World Cup. I remember him playing for Senegal, I think, in the African Cup of Nations the year before, and he looked decent. But
he did.
Even though he looked decent, I'm still annoyed that it was at the expense of not signing Anelka. Anelka was someone that I was very jealous of when Arsenal had him, especially when he broke through the team like a 17, 18-year-old. And I was like, if I could name your dream signing at that time, it was Anelka.
You know what ruined his career was his brother, innit? His brother was his agent.
Yeah.
If he had a decent agent, maybe his career wouldn't pan that way it ended up. Obviously, he had a great career at Chelsea afterwards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that focal number 9 anymore. He was like a supporting player at Chelsea, wasn't he? To Drogba and players like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, like if he had a decent people around him other than your family members who are like wanting money and all that stuff, maybe his career would have been different. Because that Arsenal team with him and Bergkamp and Ian Wright on the bench, Overmars and Ray Parlour, and they had Petit and Vieira in the middle with Adams and Bold and Dixon and Winterburn and Seaman in goal. Oh, that was listen. If you talk about the perfect balanced team, don't get me wrong, Arsenal had better players after that. But if you talk about balanced team that had the right around it, like the wingers, the right backs, the centre backs, the midfield to the front, that was the perfect team in my opinion that Arsenal had at the time. Obviously, Henry came on and took it to another level. Yeah. But if you're talking about overall as one, like everybody had a role to play, that was the team, man. Underrated, man. Underrated team that was.
I definitely agree. I think with that team, you had a great mix. You had like an English core, but then you had like continental attackers as well that were really about their game as well. So no, that was that Anelka thing. Yeah, it's still. I always see people do little polls on Twitter, and it's just like, what player do you feel like should have done better or we should have signed? And it's just like Anelka's always comes to my mind. First one. Yeah. He had a good spell when he came on loan as well. Playing, I think he played in a deeper position. I think it was Owen and Heskey.
He played as a number 9.
He played as a number 9, so he could have mixed it as well.
Owen changing a lot. Him and Owen, and they played up front together sometimes as well. But that pace up front,
Owen and Anelka was like my dream to like combo strikers at that time because Anelka can drop deep and do things as well. So
you saw him at Chelsea. That's what he did at Chelsea. He did that at Chelsea.
Yeah, had the perfect balance. So yeah, that was definitely a blast from the past there. Just got a comment here from Uncle Rods. He said Bruno Fernandes is a pagan. Yeah, I don't think we'll argue with that one. We'll argue with that comment there too, Uncle Rods. This position, I'm not too sure who's going to fill this in for United. Number 10, who plays in that number 10 role? Because
Fernandes plays in number 10, but let me check on the. Number 10 no more.
No, so you've got a couple of youngsters. So you've got Maino and that Hannibal Medri guy who looks like Sideshow Bob with the big afro. So
Sideshow Bob.
God. That's the only players in contention because you don't. It would have been Mason Mount, but he's injured. You've got Ericsson who could have played that role. He's injured. They don't really have a lot of options. Let me have a look at their last lineup as well.
Bro, what I think in this game, they're going to go ultra defensive. I think there's going to be more midfielders than actually attackers. Probably one out front, and then just 5 in midfield, like just covering the defense. I think so. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to go all attacking, anything like that. I think they're going to try to keep it. It's Anfield, isn't it? Under the lights. Under the lights, and the fans are going to be right on top of them. So I'm assuming they want to keep the score down as much as possible, and put ultra defensive team and one up front. That's what I think that's going to happen. I think that Hannibal's going to play. They've got no choice but to play him.
They've got no choice.
He's going to 100% play.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to play a 5 midfield, just the way you've mentioned as well. I
think they're going to go that direction. They don't want to face the embarrassment again like last time, innit, man? So and not only that, they've been facing embarrassment recently against Bournemouth at home. First time ever they lost to Bournemouth ever in their history at home. Ooh, that's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Is Rashford fit or is not?
So from what I've seen, there has been no mention that he's not. He's injured, so he's available. But I think because he's been having a sort of like on-off season right now, you got to play Rashford, right? You can't leave him out, can you? What do you think?
You know what it is with Rashford, bro? Like it's his attitude, isn't it? It's not suiting a lot of the fan base anymore. Not just the manager; it's just everyone in general are complaining about him. From what I've seen of the Man United fans, but like you said in this game. They've got no choice with the injuries they got. If they don't play him, what is he gonna think, bro? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
true.
mean, you could take so much out of a guy like, you know, not performing on the pitch, but when there's injuries, you can't take the piss out of him like this. You've got to play him. You've got to play him, man.
You got to play him. I agree.
Yeah,
I think he is available for this one. So, do you
He'll
think
play
he'll
on the
lead
left.
the line, or do you think he'll play on the left?
I think they'll play that hojlund, innit? They need the goals, innit? Then he needs to start scoring goals. But the thing with that poor kid, he actually gives it his all. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the goals, but when you're in a team that's struggling, you're gonna struggle, bro. You're gonna struggle. You know what I mean? So it's just unfortunate he didn't come during preseason. If he came during the preseason, he would have bedded in better, and he would have understood his teammates better. But they bought him, I think, at the end of the transfer window, last day or something like that. I think.
Yeah, last few weeks. I think.
Yeah,
last week it was. Yeah.
And
It's
you know,
a shame.
it's I feel for him. Listen, I don't feel for any Man United person, but in regards to the humanity side, I feel for him. I feel for him because he's looking bad. He's looking pretty bad from what you see on the pitch.
Yeah, because the way he played for Denmark, because I watched a lot of Denmark games last season. He looked phenomenal. Like raw pace, left foot finisher as well. And I don't even think he played a lot of games for his previous club, which was Atalanta at Serie A. But looks a talent. But yeah, like you said, when your team's not in form, it's very difficult for you to discover that rhythm as well and try and play to your level, because you're kind of going based on what service you're getting. And if he's not getting any service, then there's only so much he can do, isn't it? So
it's just unfortunate for him. He's a service guy, isn't it? He's not a guy who could create his own chances. It looks like he needs service.
Yeah. And he plays on the shoulder, so he needs someone to thread those through balls in. Fernandes hasn't really done that this season, so yeah, it hasn't really worked out.
Even in defense, I've heard if Lindelof is not fit, it might be Evans playing there. So watch out for that as well, people.
Yeah, that could definitely be one. That could definitely be one. So okay, we've got Hojlund there and
Rashford on the left.
Rashford on the left.
Who can they play on the right? Who's actually capable of playing right side? It's got to be Antony, innit? It's got to be Antony. They're going to play him, innit? They've got no choice.
Garnacho, can he play on the right, or is he more left-sided?
Oh, then again, you could put Rashford on the right and Garnacho on the left.
Yeah, United fans are hating the fact that he's playing on the right-hand side. I've heard so many content creators say, "Oh, I can't do it," but they don't really have much choice, do they? So, who would you prefer, Rashford or Antony on that side?
Just put Rashford on the right. Then because Rashford is getting pissed off playing on the right, isn't he? But
he is.
Yeah. I think Rashford's going to play. I honestly think that, because I think it's not nice. Now it's becoming personal if he doesn't play. Do you get what I'm saying? With the injuries you got, it's personal now. It's going to be personal, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. In terms of that lineup, I'm not even trying to be shameless. It doesn't scare me whatsoever.
It doesn't scare us, but what are we like? I guess the low block teams. How are we like? We don't like that, do we? So they might go that route, frustrate us. And but the most important thing for our team at the moment, we're scoring from outside the box, bro. Like we've been doing that. Harvey Elliott scored the winner the other day. Before that, McAllister and all these guys shot from outside the box. Those few goals. There you go, bro. So we are, doing things out of our character now, which is like shooting from outside the box, not walking it in.
Because that's what everyone would say about us from like a few years ago, where our midfielders are only industrious midfielders. They're there to be the workhorse or the engine of our team. But now we've got technical players that can shoot from distance. Previous years, we probably had only one player that was capable of doing that, and I think that was Oxlade-Chamberlain. The others didn't really have it in their lockers. So now we've got guys that can shoot from distance. You've got Trent coming inverted, he can do that as well. So we've got a lot of options in terms of
you just mentioned Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oh man, I watched that game just before I came on. I was just laying in my sofa. I was watching that game against Man City, that 2-1 win when Firmino and Salah scored. How well that guy played in that game. People don't understand. You need to go watch back how well Oxlade-Chamberlain played in that midfield in both games. Not just that game, in both games. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, man. What a shame. What a shame that career just didn't plan out as it should, man, because he could have been one of the greatest, man. He could have been one of the greatest.
Yeah, that ACL injury. Yeah, it's just so unfortunate because he brought a different dynamic to our team
100%.
in terms of legs, but from an attacking point of view, Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. Even if you just go and see the goals that he scored for Liverpool, the goals that he scored were like top quality as well. So unfortunately, he just wasn't able to stay fit. And then he did an interview recently actually where he said that he's watching Liverpool and his favorite player is szoboszlai because it's his role he's taken up on, you know. So
made me sad when I heard that. Like it could have been me. Kind of, he's saying it could have been me there doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
sad, bro.
Very, very sad. Let's got another comment here from Uncle Roz. It says, "Keep up the good work, Ozzie, and big up Fozi. Big up Fozi, of course.
Big up, Uncle Roz. Always, man.
Always." So, in terms of this team, I kind of agree. I feel like they will be playing quite defensive. I can actually see them forming it where Amrabat ends up doing this, and then you've got it where it's a complete low block.
He'll free up the youngsters in front of him. Yeah.
So allow these guys to kind of provide the width. Rashford,
to me, I don't know about you, Ozzie. It'll be more dangerous team than if Fernandes played, in my opinion. You know, like in regards to attacking and defending as well, because they will attack as one, they will defend as one.
Yes, 100%. Like, you know, we won't elaborate on his attitude again, but he would have added balance to this team. I'm not saying that he would have competed to a certain level, but right now this is not a good balance in my opinion because you've got a youngster in Hannibal Mejbri, who's, you know, untested. He seems a bit of a live wire as well, so he's gonna get stuck in from challenges that he probably shouldn't do. So inexperience will play a part. Garnacho as well, still learning his trade. Rashford doesn't like playing that role, so I don't actually think he has the game intelligence to know what to do from the right hand side. I feel like he's gonna play like a traditional out and out winger.
To me, that's a typical, like, you know, like what you just mentioned there. You just hit the nail on the head. He doesn't know how to play that role. To me, when you say that, brother, like compared to my era, that's a typical today players. They don't know the positions they're playing. Like in the old days, when I used to play football, if we're midfielders, if we're attackers, if we're defenders, we learn all the roles. You know what I mean? Yes. And so in case, like, for the team's sake, you could cover that position if someone can't make it. Do you know what I mean? In the modern day, it's like you play one position and that is it. You know what I mean? If you play in other positions, so I tell you how it comes out. It's when the fans start saying, "Nah, he can't play that role." Like you just said earlier, he can't play that role. Then if the fans already think that, then you know what I mean? You're not going to do well in the pitch, are you? There you go. It's crazy, bro. Like football. Like you should be humble enough to know how to understand where you're gonna play. Like around you're telling me in school, in you know, in the lower divisions and all that stuff, you haven't played the right wing before with your power and pace, the way you run with the ball and that stuff. Come on, bro. Like, you should know how to play.
You know what's funny about Rashford? He actually started his United career playing as a right winger.
There you go.
So he did it in the youth, and he did it when he first came on. And I actually think he played against a Danish team as well, and he scored from the right wing. So he can play. It's a mentality.
It's mentality. It's mentally, mate. It's mentally, bro.
He doesn't want to play right wing. For him, that's not his comfort zone. He can play. He did it as a youngster in his youth days. He doesn't want to play that role. He doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't feel like he's effective in that role.
Nah, it's just what you hear, Ozzie. You know, it's just when people are on top of you saying he can't play right wing, and then you start having that doubt in your head, like you said, mentally. Like it shouldn't be like that. You're the standard of the team. You are the you know the person everybody should be looking up to, considering you come from the youth system, you're born there, and everything like that. You should be playing, but like Gerrard, if we put him right back position, he'll be the best he'll be the best right back. If we put him in the centre back, he'll be the best centre back. If we put him defensive midfield, he'll be the best defensive. That's how mentality should be of a homegrown player that supports the club. But for Rashford, I don't know what it is, bro. Like, I used to like him, you know, what he does for the home, you know, the food banks and all this stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
But the attitude now, like, I'm starting to wonder, is this all real? Or I don't know what it is, bro. Like, you should be humble enough to do stuff for your football club, bro. If you say off the pitch, you're that humble, on the pitch, you should be the same too. You know what I mean?
Look at Trent. Use Trent as an example. You know, I'm sure right back's not his position, like his favorite position. Like he's made comments where he says, "I feel more comfortable playing in the middle of the park," but he's the best
because he was a midfielder. Because he was a midfielder
exactly
when he first started.
But he's the best at right back, arguably. I know a lot of fans be like, "Oh, he's not great defensively." Look, what he brings from that position, no one can touch him in world football.
Man City away this season. Everybody, what would they say before the game? What they said, Ozzie, before the game? Doku was going to do?
Doku's going to cook him. No, nothing happened.
There you go. Did Doku score? Did Doku do anything? No. Trent scored though. Trent scored.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, no, I agree with that. In terms of this lineup, I feel like this will be the shape. I can't see them changing the shape in transition. I think they're going
It
to
might
keep
be not the right personnel, but the shape is the same. You're right.
the shape is the same. Yeah, I don't see them going too far off this. I don't see them being attack minded where, let's say, McTominay is like that. That could happen if they're going for that last minute goal, for example, because he's been very potent in front of goal, which is surprising. It's not really his game, but he has done it this season. So could be around the box. Hojlund's going to be on the shoulder. This is where he wants to be, around here for that last final ball and try and score the goals. So it's not a team that are fair, but I think this is the shape that we're expected to see.
And don't forget the way we come at. Like Crystal Palace had about 4 or 5 injuries, and look at the way they performed against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these players, you expect them to be better quality than Crystal Palace in player terms. So it is like a bit of a danger there as well. So it depends how we come out. If the players are going to be like coming out full throttle, it's a long day for Man United. If the players are going to come out like what they did against Crystal Palace, it's a bit worrying, if you know what I mean. We're going to come into the game at the end of the game, not it's like straight away. It shouldn't be like that.
No, it shouldn't be at all. Just got a couple comments here. So got Aziz. Said this is a great stream. Big up, lads. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, Aziz. Thank you for coming on the show. And we've got Patrick who said, "Isn't Rashford injured?" So this is something that me and Fozi were debating. From what we've heard, he's expected to start. So I think he was out due to illness. So he should be.
It wasn't injury because he was on the bench before that, wasn't he? He wasn't even playing.
Yeah. So I think we'll just give the benefit of the doubt that he might be available for this fixture. Like I say, it wasn't an injury; it's just due to illness. I think it was. So let's see how it goes in terms of United. We'll switch over now and we'll present the Liverpool team. So more familiar territory for us in terms of who we'd like to see in terms of the lineup. So here we go. So safe to say we'll be playing our normal formation, which is a 4-3-3. Obviously, Trent will be inverted, which we can elaborate as well. Let me ask your opinion about that, because it's a question I always ask whenever I have someone on the show. The whole inverted role thing. What's your viewpoint on it?
I just want him to go back to right back position, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people want him to do inverted, but what has he done inverted since he got found out? I mean, last season it was great because we was climbing up the table from 10th position, but now, like, does he create any chances from that inverted position? When was the last time he created the goal from that inverted position? Like, at least on the right side, when the overlaps and all that stuff will create chances. You know what I mean? He's got szoboszlai on that side with Salah. That's the most frightening side in world football if you look at it from that point of view.
True.
So, and if we keep the balance and the ball doesn't go over him when he gets inverted, then they won't create chances, if you know what I mean, the other team. So we will cover that position. And we don't want Konate to come out of position because, you know, he has those bozo moments when he goes out of position. Players get past him and then they create chances and probably score a goal. So I'm for it if we're losing a game, like it's 20 minutes to go and he has to go inverted. But if we're winning games and he's right back position, what is the problem? You know what I mean? I'm not here for individual players. I've always said that to people. When I was younger, I was all about individual players. My favorite player was John Barnes. After that, you know, it was someone else. It was Redknapp. It was this. It was Gerrard. I mean, you ban soft players as a youngster, and then you grow up and you think to yourself, I'm here for Liverpool Football Club. I'm not here for individual players. There was a moment I said, we're never going to win anything with Gerrard in the Premier League, man. Maybe it's time to think about letting him go. You know what I mean? That's when they start letting him go afterwards. Listen, it's not all about the individuals. It's about the team. If the team wins you titles, how did we win titles? Because the team got together as one and the manager pushed them towards that direction. It wasn't all about individual players, doing their own things and all that stuff. It was about the team as one winning titles. That's what I want to get back to. And Trent needs to get back to the right back position and create goals from there like he used to, because he created a hell of a goals from that position. Let's just be honest for me. Like, let's be realistic with his crossing and deep line passing from there as well. So if him and Robertson could get back to that thing they used to do, because we already got creativity in the middle with Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, etc. And these youngsters that come through. So if you have all that creativity from other angles, those deep line defending teams ain't going to be a problem, is it?
No, I agree. No, you made some very, very valid points. For me, this whole inverted role thing, I'm not very pro and I'm not anti as well at the same time. I look at who the opposition is. So there's certain games it might suit us to play that. So like you said, if we're needing a goal, we need a bit of creativity from the middle, invert him then you can just make Konate a bit of a makeshift, and then he can do a job there. I don't want it to be where we become very predictable, where that is what we start off playing a match, because you've got Konate who's doing a two-man job. He's doing centre back and right back, and there's very hardly any footballers or centre backs in the world that can do that. It's difficult.
It's difficult, bro.
Very difficult task. And then you've got whoever's playing on the right side of your midfield, so the centre midfield. So that would be Szoboszlai predominantly.
Yeah,
he's having to adapt his game. He's having to cover his ground when Trent goes infield. So I don't want Szoboszlai doing any more defensive duty. For me, he's that creative spot. He is the technician in the team. So he should be playing further up top. So I'm not saying I'm against it, but I feel like we got to choose our moments, choose phases of the game where he does that, rather than, all right, first half you're going to do this, and then second half we'll be too predictable, and we will get exploited as well. So
because like you just hit the nail on the head, brother. Like we're taking away things from players that actually that's normal to them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to build a team around one player. I want to build a team as a whole. You know what I mean, if people don't understand that, that's on you. You know what I mean, but like let Szoboszlai does what he does, which is creativity, collects the ball, runs with it, passes from deep, shoots from outside the box. McAllister does the same thing as well. And let them do their thing, man. Trent can relax more, can have a rest more. Like if he doesn't have to do things like that, he could probably concentrate more in improving his defending now than before. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have to do everything anymore.
No.
So you gotta look at that way,
No, I agree with that one. Okay, so we'll point obviously Alisson because about saying starting goal.
Thank God he's back, man. Thank God he's back.
Oh, like I never bash players, but I have been critical of Keller. I've just not been impressed in terms of his performances so far this season. But
I don't blame him. Listen, you can't blame him. Let me be honest with you, bro. Sorry to interrupt, bro, but we can't blame him because when you're in the cold for too long, you play football. It's hard to integrate with the team. It's hard to understand how to play in that position in front of a crowd, in front of different players. You know what I mean? Because Alisson, I'm sure every game he's been playing the Premier League since he's been there. He's been taking notes of every player that attacks him. You know what I mean? So Keller doesn't do that. He can't do that. So I can't blame him for it. You know what I mean? But thank God Alisson is back because he's the best goalkeeper in the world by far, man.
Oh, by far. He's saved us so many times. Even the Palace game, he made a crucial save in the first half and in the second half. He made two very, very important saves. So yeah, he's definitely we get our money's worth when it comes to Alisson. So in terms of the back four, I think so. Tsimikas, obviously, we don't have Robertson, so
people need to take it easy on Tsimikas, man. I think he's been performing now. I don't know what people want from him. I mean, he's doing better than what people expected. I assume. I don't know about you. So it shows when you're playing a lot of games. Look at the improvements he could have. You know what I mean? Like before, what happened to him? He played 2 good games, then he's been taken out in the 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th, and the 6th, and the 7th, and 8th because Robertson is the first choice, and then your confidence goes. That's what's happened to the guy. His confidence left, and now he's trying to regain it back. Now we could trust him in that position, but what he needs to do what the guy on the other side did. When Klein got injured, what did Trent do? He made that position into his own. That's what Tsimikas needs to do if he's serious being our left back in the future as well. Yeah,
that's what happened with Robertson. He bided his time, took over Moreno when we had him. So it's just something where I feel like, look, he's got a couple of months to enjoy his football and just make a stake in the team. If he does well,
it's good for Robertson, though. Don't you think that it was good for him to be taken out of the team because he's been playing too many games for years, man.
And now I feel like even when Robertson comes back, because Tsimikas, for me, he had a couple of dodgy games. So the one that sticks to my mind is the Everton game. I thought it was very poor in that one. But I think with confidence, he's grown, and then he's actually shown a lot more positivity in his play now. So
we play a big part as well, Ozzie. We play a big part as well as fans. We need to push our players. Stop listening to rival fans and bashing our players just because they say, "Oh, Tsimikas is crap," and then we believe what they say, and then we start showing it on the pitch. Do more Tsimikas. Boo Tsimikas. You don't do things like that. Just support the players and get them through games. And I'm 100% convinced they'll walk through that wall for you in every game they play. 100%. I mean, negativity around the team is what causes the issue. If you get rid of that negativity, I think we'll be fine, guys, man. Just be positive, man.
Yeah, and look how he's performed now. He's been fantastic in the last few weeks. So for me, even when Robertson comes back, Klopp will have a lot more confidence to put Tsimikas and rotate, because maybe before that, I'm not sure if he's up to that level. Now we see it; he can do it. So, you know, we have to appreciate our squad players at the same time.
To me, the game that convinced me he can do it, bro, is that Man City game away. The way he was covering the centre backs. Haaland was through on goal, came out of nowhere and took the ball off him. You know what I mean? You know, when Haaland's through on goal, it's a goal, isn't it? So he did a lot of good things, man. He does a lot of good things.
Definitely agree with that. We've got another comment here from Patrick who says we should stop losing the ball too much. Yeah, I think in the opening,
you're right.
I think the opening minutes of games, like the opening 15-20 minutes, we have to be a bit more compact. That's when we concede a lot of goals as well. But that's because of the whole inverted thing. I think we leave gaps on that side.
It's not just the inverted, it's the team is trying to get used to each other at the same time as well. This is why we brought these technical players into the team. McAllister is a technical player. Szoboszlai is a technical player. Endo is a technical player. Gravenberch is a technical player. They're not all. You know what I like about them? They're all different type of players. They're not all the same type of players that can just everything. So with time and patience, and now they see themselves on top of the league, I guarantee you their performance will change, because they will feel that high now. They will feel that, you know, that pressure to be, you know, the best. Everybody's looking at them now. So now they have to perform in a different way. So this is what I'm looking forward to. I want to see this. I want to see this from the players in the next games as well, man. Because when you're top of the league, everybody wants you, innit? Everybody wants you, man. They want to talk to you. They want to look at you. Players from all around the world will come and visit you, from Brazil, from Argentina. We've seen it in the past, Maradona, Pele, when they were alive, they were coming to the Anfield. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to know you, man. So keep this up, man, and then you elevate to the next level. Trust me, man. These are technical players we've got, man. This is what we brought them for, to keep the ball. Not to do Henderson loofing the ball in the air.
I know.
Those days are gone.
It feels good. It feels good not to see that anymore. I can't lie. I have to be honest. Patrick says, what I love about Tsimikas is the crosses he brings in. He's not there yet, but he'll get there. Yeah, so that's one of his strengths. It's always been his strength whenever he's played for Liverpool, is his crossing ability. He's very, very good on the ball. So that will come. I think, like you said, when he gets the understanding, because I think, so one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you notice it, Fozi, in terms of the left wing. So whenever Robertson and Diaz played, I just don't feel like they have a good chemistry. I feel like Diaz goes out wide and it kind of stops Robertson from bombarding that left-hand side, whereas Tsimikas and Diaz seem to have a better understanding. But I think because Tsimikas understands that he's going to take up that area, so I need to drop deep, and then when he gets the ball, he can whip in the crosses from the deep position. So that's something I've noticed. Obviously, it's improved, but it's always been a thing where I'm like,
you know what it is, bro? It's a marriage, isn't it? It's a marriage. Look, people just don't. Now, seriously, it is. If you look at football, it's a marriage thing, isn't it? Like that left side was what? Van Dijk, Robertson, Wijnaldum, and Mane. That left side, they dominated that side for years and years. True. Sometimes it's hard when you lose your partner, innit? You lose that partner that you was there for years and years, and a new one comes in. So it's like an animal when they start sniffing you. You know, can I trust this? You know, thing. You know, like, is he gonna put me in a bad position in games and all that stuff? Is he gonna support me when I need help? That's what's happening with these guys. They need a run of games for them to understand each other. That's the problem with Robertson and Diaz and on the left side. There ain't no consistency there. Once the consistency comes together, I think they'll be fine. Which is McAllister, Robertson, and Diaz. Once that marriage, you know, comes together, and obviously Van Dijk, I think it'll be all right, because the issue they're having over there, that consistency is gone, bro. It hasn't been there for a few years, man. Every single time they try it, someone gets injured. Every single time.
Yeah, it ruins the balance as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's very true, actually. So let's get back to this lineup. So obviously Trent starts there. Who partners Van Dijk in this one?
Listen, I'll give Kwanzaa a go, man, again, but you know he's not going to do that. Listen, I love the kid. I love the kid. I think he's less risky on the ball. I don't make no secrets about it. I've talked about Diaz and I've talked about Konate. I said Diaz, mentally something is not right with him, bro. Like, it's not nothing to do with the football pitch. I'm looking at him. I look at him from the mental aspects of things, like you know what I expect from him on the pitch. I watch him thoroughly. Something is not right with him. Even before his dad got kidnapped, something wasn't right with Diaz. If you look at the beginning of the season, he'll get you those goals now and again. But after that, what does he offer? Mane played a lot of bad games, but he offers us something in it offensively, defensively, and creativity side of things as well. But with Diaz, he doesn't cross the ball in, bro. He can't get past players anymore. He gets the odd goal now and again.
Yeah.
But what do you do after that? Like where's the relationship? What do you actually do after that? That's what I'm asking myself. That's why I said Klopp needs to sit with him and talk to him. Something is not right. I'm looking at him mentally. Something is not right at all. I don't think he lost that pace. He's only 26, bro. He's gonna be 27.
No.
How can you lose that blistering pace? Van Dijk had more serious injuries than you, and look at him. He's got his pace again. He's 32. So something is not right with Diaz. But with Konate, he's just a bozo, bro. Like, he's gonna have those bozo moments. I mean, his hero was Saka. Sako. That was his hero, ex-defender. Okay. When you know that, then you know, innit? When people told me he's going to be the replacement for Van Dijk, I started panicking. I was sweating every day, mate. I said, no way. No way he's going to be the replacement.
I've never seen him as a Van Dijk replacement, but...
People said that to me, bro. People, credible people on YouTube, like, the people that know football, they told me that, and I said, "No, I'm starting to worry now. I'm really worrying." Yeah, I don't. You know what it is, bro? Like with Love Wrong, we couldn't get that bozo moments out of him, and I could see the same thing happen with Konate. He's making the same mistakes game in and game out. He's not learning from it. Yeah, he's only gonna perform in the big games because the spotlight is on him. But after that, like when the spotlight is not on him, he's gonna have those bozo moments. I want you to be consistent, bro. I want you to not make mistakes in every game you play. But he's not even trying that. So it's gonna be Konate anyway. But I think this Kwanzaa kid is the future, bro. In that side.
I'll be honest. I like Konate, so I think I get your comments. I think it's a tad bit harsh, but I think with him, it's his injuries. I don't feel like he finds his rhythm when he comes back from injury. He'll play like a month.
Bro, let me say something to you, Ozzie. If it's a Champions League final, if it's a World Cup final, whatever it is, I'll play him ahead of everyone because I know he will turn up.
He'll turn up.
After that is the issue.
This is the thing that I'm thinking about long term in terms of the next windows. Where do we upgrade on Konate? Do we get a solidified partner for Van Dijk?
I don't think it's upgrade on Konate. It's the partnership with him is there.
Partnership,
it's the problem, because Van Dijk can like go through games with him. Van Dijk, you know what I love about Van Dijk, Ozzie? You look at every centre backs in the world. You look at John Terry. You look at Ferdinand. You look at Solskjaer. You look at all those defenders. Yeah, they had the same partnership for years and years and years. Van Dijk has different partnerships, but it's always the same outcome. They perform the same way. True. It shows how good that guy is, bro. It doesn't matter who's next to him. Like some people when you play football, he's next to me. No, he's the last pick, man. He's the last pick. It's not like that to him. You say, come on, all right, be next to me. You direct him where to go. And he makes him play better than he really should as well. So look how many partnerships down the years Van Dijk's had, bro. And he
elevates their game as well at the same time. It's so true,
bro.
So true. It's kind of like what we spoke about the managers, where they get the best out of certain players. He gets the best out of his partners. So
exactly. Never complains, bro. Never complains who's next to him. Never complains, bro.
Never complains. No, that's why he's our captain. I'm happy he's captain as well. To be honest with you, in terms of our midfield, safe to say Endo will start in the sixth. I don't think we have a lot of options, isn't it?
We ain't got no options, bro. Endo,
we ain't got no options.
Give him run of games, man. Just give him run of games.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, he's done decent.
We're not actually losing games, are we? So
no, not far from it. Now the two number 8s. This is the one where I think safe to say Szoboszlai starts in this one. So
yeah, I think Gravenberch should start, man. He needs to run on games as well.
Me too.
I can't trust Jones, mate. Like I know, like I'm on and off on Jones. They persuaded me to support him, bro. But come on, man. For a guy who's local, come on, bro. Do more than what you look at him yesterday, bro. What the hell was that on the side, bro?
Yeah,
you're the captain. I know it's not me. I know that the game means nothing, but give it something.
No, thing is, he should be leading by example. A lot of the players in the team were youngsters, so he's got to show that. Look, I've come from where you guys have come from. This is the way. But he didn't really do that, and I've been quite disappointed. I think since the suspension. And I think he got injured after as well. He's just really gone downhill, and it's quite shocking to see in terms of his. Hopefully, I do hope he steps up because there is a player there, but it's just not been consistent enough in my opinion. So I'm on the same wavelength as you. I would probably favor Gravenberch in this game. I can't really trust Jones in this one, just because he hasn't really shown me much. I was expecting him to show a good account of himself yesterday. So maybe
as
he
the captain of the team,
and puts himself in line to be like, look, Klopp, I'm ready to go against United.
Bro, Ozzie, you could be the teacher's pet for so long, bro. You could be the teacher's pet for so long. You know what I mean? Like, I think that even the teacher will say enough is enough now. You know what I mean? I gave you opportunity, son. Like, you know what I mean? It's time, you know, to do more than just passing side to side. You know what I mean? If I wanted passing side to side, I'll keep Henderson. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to change, bro. Like I told the guys, like in the other streams when I was in Jamie's, when I said to him, bro, listen, I'm all for what you guys are doing. Give him the guy a chance on all that stuff. But if he's going to do passing side to side and we're going to be happy with that, then there's a problem here then. There's got to be more. You know what I mean? You expect shooting from outside the box. You expect him to score spectacular goals. You expect him to create goals. You expect him to run up and down that midfield, you know, being a potent part of the team and all that stuff. But what does he do other than passing side to side? Yesterday, he tried to dribble by two players and they just bullied him at the ball. Come on, bro. Bring them down. Chop them down if you have to. Get a free kick. But you just let them go and they run and score a goal.
Yeah, he needs to do a lot better. Otherwise, he will be further down that pecking order. Because we've got technicians in our team now. He would have stood out if we had Fabinho and Henderson, because obviously they were running out of legs. But in this team, we've got energy, we've got technicians. So yeah, he needs to step up if he wants to.
He's in trouble, you know that, Ozzie. He's really. I'm being serious with you, brother. Yeah. Once McAllister, Szoboszlai, and these guys, you know, like hit the form, he's in trouble, mate. Where's he gonna play? What are we gonna do with him? When those three players in that number 8 roles, what's he gonna do? I mean, you got to think about it. Like he needs to think about it, mate. I need to change my game. I need to do something different. Let me practice after when everybody leaves. Do something, man. Change your way of thinking of yourself.
It's true. Even when we get, because eventually we will get that traditional number 6.
Exactly, bro.
And then you've got McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. Like the options, there's so many options there. So Thiago's still around. Well, I don't know if he'll be around next season, but you got Bajcetic, you got players there. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for him. He needs to really step up if he wants the long term.
Even Harvey Elliott is taking over, bro. He's scoring winning goals now, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
He's making an impact when he comes off the bench. So he's definitely doing his thing this season. So yeah, make or break season for Jones, in my opinion, with that regards. Up top, so goes without saying, who starts in the right wing?
Egyptian King
as always. Diaz, would you say he starts in the left?
He will start, but I want to try Gakpo going forward, mate, for now, until Diaz mentally sorts himself out. Something mentally is not there, guys. And listen, I'm not wrong about players when I talk about players. I've been saying it for a while with Diaz. Now everybody's starting to come around. I've been saying it a while about Konate. Now everybody's starting to come around. I mean, mentally, something's not right with Diaz. I think Gakpo should be the one that plays in his old position where we actually bought him. When we bought him, he was playing on the left, didn't it, for PSV. So let him have a run of games on that side. He deserves to play anyway in the starting lineup, and just put Diaz on the bench like as an impact sub until Diaz feels comfortable getting past players again, and taking the piss like he used to in the past. Sorry about the word, but you know what I mean. What he did to Reece James in the cup when he curled the ball around him, and things like that. I love to see things like that. Entertainment is a part of the game, bro. You know what I mean? So he needs to create goals as well. Be the first part of defending, make runs in the box when we're in the box to get the defense out of position and things like that. I wanted to do something, bro, but it's just a passenger on the pitch at the moment. Like it's just pedestrian just walking around. There's nothing.
It's true. He's showing like bursts of moments, but then that's not enough for me. Like having one moment here and there. Thinking a little bit outside the box, he's been strongly linked with a move to Barcelona. Do you think that's playing a role in his mind?
Bro, if he wants to go to Barcelona, we get the right price, I'll take it. Honestly, we look elsewhere. We look for another guy that's going to give us more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's got that mentality of like, my dream is to play for Barcelona, and then when you don't play good in 2 games, they want you at the club. It doesn't matter. Listen, if you support continue to support Barcelona. What's happened to Coutinho? Was it 145 million they bought him for?
Yeah.
What did he do? Where is he now? It doesn't matter who you are. They will treat you like crap. Liverpool fans will support you no matter what. You're doing nothing at the moment, and they're still cheering your name. Can you imagine if you go Barcelona, you do the same thing? Pooh.
Nothing.
Two weeks ago, mate. 2 weeks ago. Good luck if he wants to go. It's not that type of player I'm going to miss anyway, but you know what I mean? If he's like that, if he's that type of person, it's what it is. But I think he should be on the bench, bro. He should be on the bench for this one and let him think what he wants to do. On the bench.
Gakpo in there then? I don't think that's a wild shout because Gakpo was phenomenal against United when we won 7-0.
Yeah. I think Dumfries will kill it. Honestly, I think he did play in the left, didn't he? Against United 7-0, and then he ended up at front afterwards, didn't he? Dumfries, it was Dumfries. It was actually Dumfries, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. So
they scored all the goals. They scored all the goals. Yeah, Nunez needs to sort himself out, bro. Like, I'm losing patience. You know, I'm a big fan, and I don't know if you see my streams. I'm a big fan of Nunez, but you know, like the patience runs out at some stage in life. You know what I mean? And he needs to start scoring goals, bro. Because you know how much longer can we wait for this? You know what I mean? We can't keep shouting Nunez, and there's nothing coming back in return. People are laughing at us. You know what I mean? So start scoring the goals, man. Start scoring. That's what you're there for. If I want Firmino, I would have kept Firmino, man. I don't want Firmino. I want a guy who takes shots inside the box. Take shots in the goal. Stop passing it off. Take shots, bro.
That's one thing he's been doing a lot, which has been annoying me actually. But like, he's overplaying it too much. Like he's trying to walk. He's trying to walk the ball into the goal. Like you don't need. There's times where touch and shoot. That's what you taught when you're a striker. Touch and shoot. You don't need to look out for Mo Salah all the time. Like, if you've got the opportunity to shoot, please just take a shot. So I don't know. I think he'll come good in my opinion. He's just going through a phase where I feel like he's trying to do too much too soon, in my opinion. Like he needs to be instinctive, play as a real striker.
That striker we saw at Anfield for Benfica, the one who was chipping Alisson left, right, and centre, scored about 4 goals that day or something.
That's what he wants.
That's what I'm looking for. The clinical guy that did that. The clinical guy who came on as a sub with 10 men and scored 2 goals against Newcastle. That's what I'm looking for. I don't need this guy who's Firmino. You're not Firmino, bro. Firmino can do that because that's his game. He was groomed to be that player. He was. I mean, that's what he was. A number 10 that can pass off the balls and do the right back heels and all that stuff. You're not that type of player. You're a finisher. Start finishing your chances, bro. Finish your dinner, man.
Straight facts. Got another comment here from Patrick who says there was news from his dad about Diaz going to Barcelona. I'm not sure if it's true. At this stage, who knows? It could be comments from his dad. We don't know. We're just obviously speculating at this stage. But yeah, we don't know. But from what we see on the pitch, he hasn't clicked this season. And this was before his father had an unfortunate incident as well. Yeah, it was before that. There were games where when I was doing my sort of player rating, I'd say he had good moments, but didn't really do, like, it will be first half and then second half, he doesn't really do much. So So I don't know, it remains to be seen. But I'm not gonna lie, I like this lineup. I think Gakpo deserves to play on that left-hand side. I think he's gonna be encouraged in terms of how he performed.
He hates Man United, didn't he? The way they treated him. So I love it. I love it when he plays against them. He's always preparing for them. Have you noticed the games before? He's always performing in the Premier League. He's always, running with the ball in his funny way of running. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think he's gonna do some damage if he plays, man. I'm telling you right now, like, he hates Man United. So it's like Jota against Arsenal. It's like that.
Yeah.
Jota always performs against Arsenal, man. That's why I see a Gakpo against Man United.
Yeah, I'll take that all day long. That's what I like to see. Okay, so in terms of score predictions, Fozi, what are you going with?
We hate them. We have to stay top of the league. I'm looking to it. I think it's gonna be 3-0, mate. 3-0, but it could be 4. It could be 4, but I think 3-0 is the one I'm going for.
It's got another comment from Patrick. I think Klopp will start with Diaz for Gakpo. Yeah, we did say that earlier. We know that, but I think me and Fozi are on the same wavelength. I want to see Gakpo. I want Gakpo to start this game just because I feel like he knew what he did in terms of the other game. So he's like, let me continue. Let me extend my goal ratio against United. So Patrick is going for 4-0. So Fozi, you've gone for 3-0.
3-0. Yeah.
I'm being modest. I'm joking. I'm not being modest. I'm going for 5-0.
Oh,
I want to see a cricket score. So I want to see us playing some good football. I feel like whenever we play United, it's the time to step up. Forget about what the form is and stuff. We need to, I wouldn't say lose our heads in terms of how we perform against them, but I feel like they're so weak in that lineup. Just doesn't. If they have Fernandez, then you're thinking, all right, fine. There's that guy that can really set up their counterattacks. They have no one that can string those passes, in my opinion. So it's a weakened team, a very weakened team. Last season, we weren't even in good form when we beat them 7-0. And we're playing all right. We're not even in our best form right now, but we're still doing good. So
didn't we play Bournemouth after that or before that and lost again? Is it Bournemouth away when Salah missed that penalty?
Yeah, I think we lost to them as well, and that was quite embarrassing itself as well. So, so no, I'll take that all day long. But But yeah, that's our match preview today, guys. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. A lot of comments today. Appreciate it as always, guys. So we've got the likes of Glenn, Toto, Double D, Billy. We've got Anfield, Uncle Rods, and we've got Aziz and Patrick's as well. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your contribution. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Fozi, thank you as always. Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your kind words. Please let the people know where to find you in terms of your channel and where to follow you on social.
First and foremost, please subscribe to this channel. You can see Ozzie, man. He's fantastic at what he does, man. He deserves more. And where you can find me is LRFC. I've been doing it since 2019. I'm not new to this place, and I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this stream, guys. So please, like I said, subscribe to Ozzie. He's doing fantastic things. Like you can see the way he speaks, the way he understands football. He knows more than us. So please subscribe to his channel. It's all about him. That's what it should be. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Ozzie.
Appreciate it, kind words. No, it's all about all of us. I like it when likewise fans like yourself who come on have a good sense of knowledge of the game, and then we've got people in the comments as well who are very knowledgeable as well. So for me, I'm trying to build a community on my channel. And yeah, you're more than welcome to come on the show. This is your first time. It certainly won't be your last time on the show. That's for sure.
You guys are all welcome to mine as well, guys. Anytime.
Of course. Please, guys, make sure you go over to Fozi's channel as well and subscribe. Are you doing a watch along on this match as well?
I'm doing it, but with me, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not really too connected with the streams yet. I need to find a way to balance everything, but it says I'm gonna do it. I got a lot of stuff to do, the graphics beforehand, so hopefully I'll do it. But just check out the streams, man. Just hit that notification bell with everyone. You'll know if we're gonna come on. It will tell you straight away if we're gonna come on.
Exactly. So thank you as always, guys. Hopefully we get the win. Hopefully we don't get complacent, as Double D mentioned earlier on. We've all predicted high score lines, so yeah, hopefully it lives up to the bill. But yes, as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.